No one is here from that group, which is Ashley, Tajane, Francis, Thousand, Francis, Thousand, and Tajane. Or you don't have a presentation? Okay, yes. Okay. Go ahead for me.
Good morning, everyone. So my group is presenting on Rastafari, on the influence of Rastafari on extra-regional societies. Um, so first we'll talk about the Rastafarian cuisine. So it's at the principles of Rastafari cuisine. Ital, the diet of the Rastafarian movement of Jamaica, is a vegetarian diet principally intended to improve health and energy.
Okay, so some followers stick to a vegan diet, considering diet.
I'm
Hello,
sorry. I
Shania?
just came here. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the diet of the Rastafarian and how it influenced the extra regional areas. So some followers stick to a vegan diet, considering dairy to be harmful or not strictly ital. Others avoid any food that has been preserved or has been prepared using metal instruments, clay pots, and wooden bowls, and spoons are often used in the preparation of ital food. Many adherents avoid alcohol and other stimulants, but this is less strictly followed. So as you can see, it's basically a vegan diet, but it goes further to say that they avoid using like metal instrument because they fear that it might contaminate their food. So who introduced the diet? After becoming interested in the diet, of indentured Indian servants in Jamaica, Leonard Howell, one of the early pioneers of the Rastafarian movement, is believed to have brought the idea of vegetarianism to Rastafari. Okay. So even though Rastafari was developed in Jamaica during the 1930s, many persons practiced the way of life, customs, and the religions across the globe. Even though most persons practice being vegan or vegetarian, there are key differences in the way Rastafari food is created that piques the interest of persons. So practitioners of this religion believe that food should have good vibrations and should promote life, aka levity. Levity. Yes. Many believers do not use metal utensils when cooking or eating. They only use clay pots to make their food. Oh, this is a repeat, but okay. They believe that aluminum pots and pans transfer traces of metal to your food, which they fear can lead to liver and kidney damages. So, in recent years, Ital cooking has become more popular as interest in health food grows and new restaurants serving Ital inspired foods have sprouted up in places like New York and London. However, dishes have spread to many African and Caribbean countries. So now we're going to be showing some examples of the restaurants in London. This is one that I found called Zionly Mana, and mostly they serve like vegan Rastafari food and dishes like authentic people. And you have Rasta Roti Hut, that's a different one. And another example of the extra regional influence are Rastafari food fairs, like the one held in St. Thomas every January. Popular dishes include made from scratch barbecue jerk tofu, hearty pumpkin stew, and red pea kidney bean loaf. Okay.
Okay, so now we'll be looking at Rastafarian music and their contribution to extra-regional societies. Tajane? Okay, I guess she's
Oh,
into it.
she got kicked off, so maybe we can read.
Okay, so similarly to the Rastafarian cuisine, the Rastafarian music has a great influence on extra-regional societies or countries. Moreover, the arts in Jamaica is influenced by Rastafari. Some of Jamaica's top artists, poets, and writers are influenced by Rastafarian culture. These craftsmen have delivered splendid artwork Jamaica energetic visual arts community. Delivered, sorry. Rastafarians pushed reggae music to the front line when Bob Marley, Third World Peace Medal holder, turned into a globally known craftsman. So the traditional music of Rastafarian religion is Nyabingi. Nyabingi music is used during reasoning sessions and consists of chanting and drumming to reach states of heightened spirituality. The chants contain ideas of Black redemption and repatriation. Sorry. They help people to participate and feel included in the Rastafarian community. Nyabingi music consists of a blend of 19th century gospel music and African drumming. So, according to BBC, in 1950, Count Ozzy, Jamaican Rastafari drummer and band leader, began using drumming during reasoning sessions. He realized that this drumming, intensified the spiritual effects and heightened people's sensations. Count Ozzy began developing rhythmic patterns that spread throughout the Rastafarian community. He played this music publicly, resulting in the spread of the Rastafarian message. This type of music requires the use of three types of drum: the bass, funde, and pita, which is the repeater. In the last 30 years, Rastafari has become commonly associated with reggae music. So, as we all know, Bob Marley helped spread awareness of the religion among outsiders through his appearances and his lyrics. Many people believe that Bob Marley was the main factor in the spread of Rastafari to the USA, Canada, most of Europe, Africa, and Australia. His lyrics were influential in the spread of political ideas of the Rastafarian movement. He spoke out against the inequality experienced by the Black community and the negativity they were, sorry, hold on, Ooh. And the negativity they were faced with. Sorry. So Bob Marley's, these are examples of like Bob Marley's lyrics. Say, have emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. And you have don't give up the fight, stand up for your rights. And the other piece is just one. I'm not sure who it was written by. So the history of reggae music dates back to the late 1960s when it made its maiden venture in Kingston, Jamaica. The music genre made its presence felt almost all over the world within a decade of its origin. The influence of reggae in various parts of the world cannot be overemphasized. Ever since its evolution, it has been gaining popularity day by day and is considered a revolutionary music genre. In today's world, the one of a kind 4-beat rhythm music has become an international style with unique influences on different social and music genres.
Mm-hmm.
Although the music has undergone various modifications, the Rastafarian influence has not undergone any change and inspires a global audience. It explores the various economic, political, and social injustices through a narrative style of music. So, here are some examples of where reggae is popular, which is technically all over the world. So in Europe, Don Litz, born to Jamaican parents in London, was a DJ at London's Roxy nightclub when he introduced reggae and dub music, which blended the new punk scene with the Jamaican sound. In America, America's rap music owes much of its popularity to reggae. Once again, Jamaican immigrants who stayed in contact with their home country initiated the roots of rap music through the 70s DJ style. The Jamaican DJ culture combined with urban American society, which eventually led to the development of rap and hip hop. In Africa, reggae has had a strong impact on the African continent. Tunes like Marley's African Unite, 1979, and Zimbabwe, 1979, have played a big part in cementing reggae's place as a symbol for African youth. Throughout Africa, many young Africans have begun to identify with Jamaicans and the Rasta culture. So, based on evidence provided, it is safe to say that Rastafarian music influenced many extra regional societies, including America, Europe, and Africa. Now, on to the Rastafarian religion, Rastafarianism. Rastafarianism has contributed to extra regional societies in more ways than one. It has spread throughout the world and influenced the beliefs of many non Caribbean people. Rastafarianism can be traced to the 18th century when Ethiopianism and other movements that emphasized and idealized Africa began to take a hold among Black slaves in the Americas. Rastafari lie in Mayal and revivalism traditions and in the preachings or words of Marcus Garvey concerning a Black God known as Jah. They believed that one embodiment of Jah was Jesus Christ and that they and the members of the black race belonged to one of the 12 tribes of Israel. They interpret the Bible, specifically the Old Testament, and trust that it is the path to spiritual freedom, and that means from Babylon. So additionally, Rastafarians do not have a specific religious building that is set aside for worship. Rastafarians usually meet weekly, either in a believer's home or in a community center. The meetings are referred to as reasoning sessions. They provide a time for chants, prayers, and singing, and for communal issues to be discussed. Basically said this when we were talking about the music. So, marijuana may be smoked to produce heightened spiritual states. Marijuana is regarded as a herb of religious significance and is often described as the wisdom weed or holy herb. In extra regional societies, people use it for medicinal purposes. For example, The most common use for medical marijuana in the United States is for pain control. While marijuana isn't strong enough for severe pain, for example, post surgical pain or a broken bone, it is quite effective for the chronic pain that plagues millions of Americans, especially as they age. The smoking of marijuana is specifically popular in Jamaica. However, the true meaning has been lost as youths only smoke it for recreational purposes to fit in with friend groups. So these are, well, you have many, but these are three of the most popular influencers of Rastafarianism. So you have Bob Marley, you have Marcus Garvey, and of course, Haile Selassie. So to conclude, through Rastafarianism influences extra-regional society. No, though, sorry, Rastafarianism influences extra-regional societies, it has been proven that it is most popular in Jamaica, hence information on how it contributes to extra-regional societies is far from readily available. Moving on to Rastafarian influence on hairstyle. Javendo?
Okay, so we'll now be
Okay.
discussing Rastafari influence on hairstyle. Rastafarians can often be recognized from the way they style their hair. Rastas' dreadlocks are not just for style, this is a part of who they are. Their dreadlocks form naturally over time, and many Rastafarians believe that their hair is where their strength lies, and if it is cut off, that also signifies weakness. The wearing of hair in dreadlocks by Rastafarians is also believed to be spiritual. This is justified in the lines from the Bible, "They shall not make baldness upon their head." Though the meaning of dreadlocks is significant to Rastas, the influence of dreads can be seen throughout extra-regional societies. Throughout these societies, many people copy the distinctive dreadlocks of the Rastafari people without observing their religious and or their dietary practices. For both men and women, the dreadlocks is now seen as just a hairstyle that is now in fashion. And this can be seen in the images below. See this man and the lady. They're wearing fashion locks, and they're not necessarily rastas. They're just wearing it for fashion. Yeah. Thank you. And that is the end of our presentation.
All right, ladies. Thank you very much for that informative presentation. Uh, we so this group would have looked at the contributions of Rastafari to extra-regional societies. What I would have preferred with the presentation is if you started out by telling us what we mean by extra-regional societies. All right, so don't assume that the teacher knows what you're talking about when, although you mention and give examples of extra-regional societies. But at the beginning, I would have loved for that. But I think you dealt with the question perfectly in terms of looking at the influence when it comes to religion. Very, very popular. If you go certain parts of the world today, whether it is in Canada, whether it's in the UK, the US, whether it's in Brazil, whether it's in Costa Rica, Honduras, Argentina, you'll find pockets of the Rastafarian faith. So, and it's a very recent religion that was formed, and it was formed here in Jamaica. It's very, very popular. Um, in Barbados, when I was there, I was also shocked to learn that there was a Rastafarian community that lived, that settled, like Barbadian Rastas, very, very authentic Rastas, not live live in a segregated area by themselves in Barbados. And dreadlocks, as I mentioned about dreadlocks, the popularity of wearing locks, uh, is is one of the things that the Rastafarians would have used. Music. Uh, what I would have loved also when you look at music is to, I know you can't look at everything, but as I said, that I would have loved if you look at maybe like the influence of the reggae music in on the international stage. For example, BT, MTV when they are having their awards, uh, Hollywood, the films, they're very, very popular, dreadlock. And also the food is something that you have dealt with adequately. But when we look at the music of the reggae music and the popularity of it, in fact, Carlin Cooper, professor at UWI, retired professor at UWI, mentioned that well, she coined the concept global reggae, right? And what she's basically saying is that reggae is not national. Reggae is not only confined to Jamaica. Jamaica has no true claim to reggae. It started here, but in reality, reggae is very, very global. And you have reggae artists right across the world. In fact, you have reggae artists in Japan that is making way more money than reggae artists in Jamaica, right? In fact, in her work, in Cooper's work, she mentioned that the largest reggae festival in the world is not in Jamaica. It is not held in Jamaica. It is held in Europe and Asia, where when you have people going to the reggae festivals in those areas or those regions of the world, you're talking about millions of people going to those festivals. And you know, well, they have adopted that um the look, they wear the colors, they have everything when it comes to the Rastafarian faith. So, ladies, it is very important to note that this is a very, very popular question on the exam. And so you all should have been taking some form of notes. All right. The next groups, a very good presentation. Group 5, I've been getting some very good presentation this from E1. Go ahead for me, which is group 6. Group 6,
Sir, we're here.
go ahead for me.
Good morning. Today, my group will be presenting on the effects of arts on human development in the Caribbean. And the group members are myself, Abigail Davis, along with Aliana Palmer, Alethea Richardson, Serene Shirley, and Ariel Thomas. It is our aim to describe 4 ways in which the arts have assisted human development in the Caribbean, and we'll be looking at the aspects of empowerment, productivity, sustainability, and equity. First off, let's just look at a definition of what human development is. Human development is concerned with improving people's well-being through better opportunities and freedoms, and trying to ensure an individual's basic needs are met for food, water, and housing.
Okay, good morning. I'll be presenting on how the arts provide empowerment. Can everybody hear me? Sir?
Yes, we
Yep.
can.
Oh, okay, great. Empowerment refers to the degree to which individuals feel a sense of self-efficacy, the knowledge that they are capable of doing things to improve their own lives. Next slide. So my point for today is the creative arts in the Caribbean have long acted as a catalyst for empowerment for the region's people. Primarily, the art forms of and music have been widely used as means of spreading this empowerment from Jamaica all the way to Trinidad. Next slide. Thank you. So my evidence and explanation. The dance brookings originated from the slaves in many plantations who wanted to be emancipated and danced around campfires singing songs of redemption, which further motivated many slaves to rebel. Even today, many use the dance as a metaphor of empowerment and freedom. Accompanied with the dance was also the drums. The drums were also a form of empowerment. Additionally, the Jamaican artist Marley has also been a trailblazer in using the art of song means spreading words of empowerment through songs like Redemption Song and Concrete Jungle. Other singers like Mighty Sparrow also empower Caribbean people in his song Federation. These songs are often used in rallies rallies where people are trying to empower each other and to spread words of being free from mental slavery as Bob Marley. Therefore, it is evident that for many years, the arts in the Caribbean have played an integral role in the empowerment of people. It has continuously aided in strengthening the people of the Caribbean and will forever remain as a means of expression for people who want change and want to encourage others to be the change as well.
The arts also encourage productivity. Productivity refers to more than economic understanding of growth.
The arts contribute to the productivity of the nation by creating avenues for the growth of the economy. This is evident as more opportunities for paid jobs are made available to the population. Consider, for example, the music industry, which offers careers in various areas such as music production, recording engineering, and performing artists. This allows for an overall increase in the country's level of employment.
Arts also serve as a means of taking the nation's people out of poverty. Jamaican artists like Chronix and Popcorn are men who can be described as starting from humble beginnings. They now top music charts both locally and internationally. For example, in 2014, Chronix hit the top spot of the Billboard reggae charts on the release of his debut EP, Dread and Terrible. Due to their art, they were able to fully participate in the process of income generation in the country, and this shows an increase in productivity. Art have significantly enabled humans to increase their productivity. Forms of expression has allowed individuals to generate income and create more opportunities to earn and better their lives.
The art provides sustainability. Sustainability refers to access to opportunities not only for the present generation, but for the future generations as well. My point is the arts contribute to human development, more specifically sustainability, in the way that they provide jobs for people. The industry provides numerous jobs such as graphic design, marketing, teaching, stage performers, international artists, etc. Another point is another evidence is concerts like River Salutes and Reggae Sumfest, etc. bring in foreign exchange for the country. Artists like Bob Marley, their riches have transcended through generations and continue to provide for their relatives long after they have passed. Many communities in Jamaica have arts programs within the community to help deter youth from crime and violence. And lastly, craft markets in Jamaica help to provide income for people. Explanation. Jobs in this industry provides numerous advantages for not only the people but also the country. Firstly, it provides the country with foreign exchange and the locals with income which they can use to ensure their basic needs are met. Another advantage of the arts is that it keeps people off the streets and away from crime and violence. As seen in the evidence, the arts can be used as a deterrent for violence for youth, in that they can channel their energies into their art form, as well as they no longer have to worry about being unemployed and needing to get a fast money. Link. Therefore, we can clearly see that the arts contribute to human development by not only providing jobs for people, but giving the government foreign exchange and lowering the crime rates in certain communities.
Equity in the arts. Equity refers to a commitment on the part of the government and people of a country to enable all social groups to access the opportunities that the country offers and to be fair to all groups as they grasp these opportunities. Point. The government and the people of the Caribbean have played roles in ensuring that all social groups have access to the arts. Evidence. This is illustrated by the NYOJ, National Youth Orchestra of Jamaica. It is a non-profit organization that provides music lessons to children who can't afford it, and they can eventually use these skills and lessons learned. Primary schools and secondary schools, both public and private, students have access to learning the arts, dance, music, drama, and visual arts, either during school time or for extracurricular activities. Kingston Creative is a nonprofit organization using arts and culture for social transformation, building the downtown Kingston Art District and Creative Hub. Explanation. Equity in the arts is made possible through nonprofit organizations and schools which provide an opportunity for all persons to learn or develop their skills or talents in the arts. This means that dance, music, drama, and visual arts are done by all despite socioeconomic backgrounds. With that being said, no matter a person's background, once he or she has access to develop a talent and is given a chance, they can compete or perform with others locally and internationally, which in turn can provide an income or a job and limit idleness, therefore improving the standard of living and quality of life, eventually accounting for social mobility for persons to improve their social status. The link. The evidence is clear that people in the Caribbean have access to arts through either nonprofit organizations and schools, which eventually develop the talents of the people, allowing them to live a life, allowing them to live a better life. Oops. Thank you, everyone. That is the end of our presentation.
All right, thank you very much, group six. Sorry, group five. Yes, group six. The all right. So there's I'm going to leave most of my comments until Wednesday for Wednesday's class in regards to this group. Uh, but I find that some of the points attend at some of the points that you it is good. I look all right. So the first positive is that I like the fact how you look at all the different indicators of human development and to link it uh to art and culture, right? Art forms and culture. So, for example, employment, productivity, equity, sustainability, excellent. That's perfect. And you gave a definition of human development. In fact, when you're in the exam, that's what they're actually looking for. They are looking for you to be defining these terms and linking it to the topic. Uh, are linking it to the question that they actually asked. So empowerment, uh, not empowerment, equity. One of the topics that I think that the points that you could have used, develop a little more when it comes to equity is to see equity as a form of art forms and culture, to see music or the art forms as a way of expression, right? Expression against struggles, against injustice in the society. And you can use all the different examples. So, for example, Martin Carter, who is a poet, he spoke about the oppression of British colonialism. Paula Marshall, Bernie, Rex Nicholford, all of these persons use their different art forms to either to celebrate a part of our culture. For example, look at Rex Nicholford and his theater. He incorporates a lot of revival music in his art forms, and that's a Afro-Caribbean religion that is looked down at by majority of the persons in Jamaica, right? Not only in Jamaica, but the same thing for in Barbados and in Trinidad. People tend to look down to the spiritual Baptists and the Shango Baptists. Same thing for St. Vincent and these different areas. And so these Afro-Caribbean religion has been basically oppressed. And what Rex Nicholford has done is to use the theater to expose the Jamaican public to things like Pocomania and revivalism, and also to say that, listen, this is a space of freedom, right? And so is a way of talking against the using the theater as a way to speak out against injustice. The same thing with music in terms of songs. If you look at listen to some of the songs, whether it is reggae music or dancehall or soca or calypso or punta rock, all the different Caribbean music, they speak out against some form of injustice in the society or some form of struggle. So recently I heard a song, a calypso about uh what's her name? About the Queen and Harry and all of these different stuff. A lady in Trinidad singing this calypso song. And in fact, she was touching on some of the issues about race. She was touching a lot of the issues she was dealing with was about race in the song and in the calypso song. And because the reason why I wouldn't share the song with you is because it has a lot of sexual innuendos in it, right? But the song actually spoke about the only reason why uh, Megan was treated the way she was is because of her color of her skin. And this lady would have sang this song about 2 to 3 years ago in Trinidad. And we have seen the the story come out last night where they actually come out and reveal that race is still an issue in the world. The last one I want to look at is productivity. When you talk about productivity, that is where you talk about jobs and not the section of when you talk about sustainability. So productivity has to do with things like employment opportunities, jobs, trade, and foreign exchange. So when you look at our music, Caribbean music bring in a lot of money. In fact, our artists in the Caribbean, they go abroad and they don't make money in the Caribbean because Caribbean people, we don't spend money, right, on music. But we spend a lot of money on things like clothes and all of these different stuff and food, but not on buying music. But we do have a culture here in the Caribbean where we buy music, right? Like CDs and those things. However, when our artists go abroad, they are able to make a lot of money from selling their music. The same thing when they come for our festivals. So whether it is Carnival in Trinidad, whether it is Reggae Sunfest in Jamaica, whether it is Crapova in Barbados, whether it is Christmas in Grenada, there's a lot of money that is derived, foreign exchange that is derived from our different festivals in the Caribbean. What else I wanted to point out? Yes. And empowerment. Empowerment has to do with our talents and our self-expression also. And in the Caribbean, a lot of Caribbean scholars have emerged to look at things like culture. In fact, at UWKV, they just started the Faculty of Culture and Creative and Performance Art. You have Edna Manley College in Jamaica that deals with the visual arts and just all the different types of art forms, the promotion of these and the development of these art forms. And then you have a lot of scholars in the Caribbean that have no focus on these things. Like, for example, my wife, who has been looking at the Grenadian culture, which is Candia Mitchell Hall. Then you have Donna Hope, who looks at dancehall. Then you have Caroline Cooper, who looks at reggae. Then you have Arian Kamazisha, which is from Barbados. He looks a lot at on Caribbean music and festivals and just the culture. And then you have Yvonne Weeks from Barbados too, who has done a lot of work on the performance arts. In fact, she was very influential in the development of theater arts at the CSEC level and performing arts at the Cape level. And then you can also look at Yannick Humes, who look at voodoo and Afro feminist contribution to religion. So there's so much to talk about, and I would love to give you an essay on this, but I think the presentations were very good enough um, that actually show that you actually understand the topic and you have read. It is now for each member of the class now to go back to the recordings and make notes on each of these topics because we are not touching them again. When we return next week, we are going to start module 2, where we're going to look at development. So this is the end of module 1. We're not touching module 1 again. Module 1 is now finished. All right, ladies, enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, sir, and same to you.
All
Bye.
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Yes,
Bye.
thank you very much for the presentations. They were excellent presentations overall.